Welcome to another edition of the Sports Guys. I'm sports editor Jim Ramses, along with Mike Hautemaki, staff writer. And we had quite a bit, the winter sports season winding down finally. And we had some good basketball, good quality basketball. The MIB girls were down at state after winning another section title. They came away, they lost 60-53 to Minnesota. But they played pretty well overall. They just got behind, it was 12-0 and then 18-4, and they just couldn't make it all the way back. And one of their best players, Chelsea Mason, she fouled out later in the game, and they just couldn't overcome that deficit. They had a good effort, but they just couldn't quite do her.
How'd that Taylor Reese look from Minnesota?
She was very good. She was, she was a good rebounder, a good scorer. She had a little bit of a bigger body, so she was could be a physical player, and she got it done all the way around.
Well, they must have had a talented team because they went on to win the state championship. So
yeah, that's you can look back on MIB's season and say they lost to the state championship, the state champions, so that's not a bad thing.
Yeah, no shame in that.
Yeah, 2 years in a row, I guess, on that with Maranatha the year before.
Yeah.
But another good trip for them. It was a lot of fun. And on the boys' side of prep basketball, Virginia in the AA bracket made it the furthest. They ended up taking on ESCO in the section semifinals. They lost 51-47. Again, a pretty good game. They had looked not quite so good in the quarterfinals against Evelyn Gilbert, squeaked out a win. And they did play a lot better against ESCO. Although ESCO was the number 2 seed. It was 51-47, played very well. Corey Diedrich was a talented player for the Eskimos, and he, I forget his point total, but he did a fair amount of damage to the Blue Devils. And now they went on to win the section championship over Mora, and now ESCO, they played in the state 2A championship. Not in the championship, but in the state 2A bracket yesterday, and they came away with a victory, so they're still alive and looking good there. So they were a quality opponent again that one of our teams lost to.
Yep.
And we also had Lakeview Christian. They made it to state also.
Yeah, they ended up losing today in the quarterfinals, 72-54 to Rushford Peterson. That was, of course, in the Class A tournament. So they're done, and the high school career of Anders Broman is also done. Yeah. He eclipsed the 5,000 point mark earlier in the playoffs during the section tournament. He was the first Minnesota prep player to do that, which was pretty impressive.
Did he averaged over 40 points a game, wasn't it, this year?
I think so, yeah.
Wow, that's incredible. Yep. To say the least.
Yeah, so we'll see how he's going to South Dakota next year.
South Dakota State, yeah. And become a Jackrabbit.
Jackrabbits. See how he does next year in college.
We love the Jackrabbits here at the newspaper.
Yeah. Just one final note on high school basketball. We have a couple All-Star games coming up this Monday night in Duluth. It's the 15th annual, I believe, St. Luke's All-Star Games. We have the best of the Iron Range area against the best of Duluth. For the Iron Range, on the girls' side, you have players like Angel Dahl, Kirsten Lottie,
Kathy Osman, MIB, and Alec Canuti also from MIB.
Okay. And on the boys, Kate Stackpool's on there.
Yep.
Charlie Kennedy was named to the roster from Evelyn Gilbert. And Sean Jordan from Ely. Those are a few of the names that come to mind. So if we have a story on it coming up for Friday's edition, check that out so you can get times and admission prices. So that's it for high school. Obviously this week the big dance started in the NCAA tournament, and my bracket's looking pretty good so far. I didn't pick too many upsets, but in my Final Four I kind of took a leap of faith with VCU.
Oh yeah.
My guy Shaka Smart, he got them there a couple of years ago as the head coach. So I have them going up against Louisville, Indiana, and Ohio State in my Final Four, with Louisville advancing to go against Indiana and Louisville taking the title.
Okay. Sounds familiar in the Final Four anyway to me.
Mm-hmm.
I had my dark horse, I guess, was New Mexico. I picked them. I have Louisville also, Indiana and Kansas in my Final Four, and I too had Louisville winning. I picked a 71-69 score, but that's just kind of a wild guess, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully it pans out. I know I had St. Mary's defeating Memphis today, but my upset there came up 2 points short, so I was kind of upset about that. But
Yeah.
it's only 1 point.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. It was a very unpredictable season in college basketball.
Yeah.
And you would think that would be reflected in the tournament, but we'll see what happens from here.
Yeah, the twos, everybody says the twos are just as good as the one seeds and even some threes, I guess.
Yeah.
We'll see.
How far do you see the Gophers going?
I guess they should be able to beat UCLA, according to what people say, and UCLA is without one of their top players.
Mm-hmm.
So you think they get by them. Florida should be, I think, probably the last game they play, I would say, against
Okay.
Florida in the next round. How about you?
Probably the same. Didn't they beat Florida during the regular season? I think they may have.
Okay, yeah, I don't recall.
But I don't know. They've been such a hot and cold team. And I don't know. I'm hoping they lose because that increases the odds of Tubby getting fired. But we'll see.
Here you go with Tubby again.
I'm not a Tubby fan. They've been just a frustrating team to watch all season.
Yeah, especially the last portion of the season, they look pretty bad.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
So many peaks and valleys.
Mm-hmm.
So, and the big news in the NFL, at least for Vikings fans, was the acquisition of Greg Jennings. They signed him to a 5-year free agent contract.
That was huge.
Yeah, that was a huge turnaround after fans were pretty bummed out about the trade of Percy Harvin to Seattle.
Yeah, oh boy.
So you get your number one receiver in here. He's a versatile player who can play multiple positions, inside and outside. He's proven in Green Bay that he can be a deep threat, although he doesn't have blazing speed. And I think the best part of the trade is how he's going to help Christian Ponder.
You think so?
Yeah, because I think Harvin had made it pretty obvious that he didn't want to be here anymore.
Right.
And it wouldn't. And one of the reasons supposedly is because he didn't have much confidence in Christian Ponder anymore. And being a young quarterback, imagine what that kind of influence and presence on your team does for a young QB.
Yeah, he doesn't want to have anything to do with you, basically.
Yeah, so you get rid of Harvin, you pick up some nice draft picks, and then you turn around and sign Jennings, who's more of a veteran guy. Just in the interviews and stuff that I saw, he seems like a class act.
Yeah, they need that.
Yeah, and will provide some veteran leadership. So
I hope too with the quarterback Ponder. I mean, I hope he does come around. He didn't. Last year was kind of a rough season for him.
yeah,
Kind of ups and downs, and not that many ups, I guess. But we'll see. We'll see what they do.
yeah,
Now there's talk about Brian Urlacher signing him possibly. He's done with the Bears, I guess.
yeah. They basically gave him a take it or leave it offer of a couple of million, I think.
Okay.
And he scoffed at that. But I don't know. I think his knees are shot. He can't really run anymore.
So yeah, I mean, I guess it'd be nice to have a veteran presence again with him.
Yeah.
But if he's not up to it, that's a whole different story.
I'd rather look in the draft for a replacement
Okay.
at middle linebacker. So
Yeah, and they got the picks.
yeah,
To do that.
They got 11 picks, so it should be fun.
So that'll do it for another edition of the Sports Guys. You can join us again next week. And also look for our stories and live tweeting from games. I'm at JimRom 2012 and Mike is at Houts81. And you can also see our stories on VirginiaMN.com and in the daily Mesabi Daily News.